Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're a homeowner here in San Diego and your pool is hitting that 15 to 25 year mark, well, you already know exactly what I'm talking about. The plaster's getting rough on your feet, the tiles are looking dated or maybe covered in scale, and your pool equipment, yeah, it's probably starting to sound a bit like a jet engine. Your pool is showing some serious wear and tear, and you absolutely know it needs work. But hey, before you even think about calling a contractor, you've got to know what you're actually getting into. We're going to break down the real costs and the logistics today so you are completely prepared.
So let's just dive right into the numbers. $9,000 to $90,000, or honestly, even more. Okay, I know, that is some massive sticker shock right out of the gate. But there's a reason this price range is so astronomically wide. It's because in this industry, the word remodeling is kind of used as a huge catch-all term. It literally covers absolutely everything from a super simple, straightforward refinish all the way up to a ground-up total backyard renovation.
And this right here is exactly where things go wrong for so many people. Confusing a full remodel with a simple resurfacing is how homeowners end up with absolute nightmare mid-project change orders. Think of it like this. A remodel addresses the entire scope of the pool's systems. We're talking the tile, the coping, the decking, and all the equipment. Resurfacing, on the other hand, well, that only replaces the interior finish, inside the shell. So if you only need a surface fix, you definitely do not need a massive remodel budget.
Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. First, we'll look at the real cost. Second, the 3 remodel tiers. Third, high ROI San Diego upgrades. Fourth, resurface versus a full remodel. And finally, timelines and city permits. Let's kick things off with Section 1, the real cost. You know, a remodel isn't really just one giant monolithic task. It's actually a bundle of separate, smaller projects. You've got your interior finish, the waterline tile, the coping around the edge, the surrounding decking, the mechanical equipment, the lighting, and maybe some water features. The secret to all of this? It makes immense financial sense to do all of these at the exact same time, simply because the pool is already drained. Moving right along to Section 2, the 3 remodel tiers. Let's break down these numbers a bit more so you can kind of self-identify your own pool's needs. On the low end, you have the cosmetic refresh. That comes in between $9,000 and $18,000. This is really just for pools that need a new interior finish, maybe a minor tile touch-up, and a basic equipment check. Then, the most common route for 15 to 20-year-old pools is the mid-range remodel. That'll run you anywhere between $18,000 and $40,000. This adds full tile replacement, new coping, and some equipment upgrades. Finally, the big one, the full renovation. That ranges from $40,000 to $90,000 or more. We're talking a ground-up overhaul touching the decking, the lighting, and maybe adding features like a spa. Now, keep in mind the size of your pool and how much of your existing hardscape is actually salvageable. Those are the biggest swing factors in these prices by far.
Okay, Section 3, high ROI San Diego upgrades.
Now, a crucial point here is knowing which of these upgrades actually pay you back, specifically in our local environment. You see, San Diego is pretty notorious for its hard water, and that heavy calcium scale, it will literally destroy a standard plaster finish way faster here than it would in a region with softer water. Because of that tricky local chemistry, upgrading to a pebble or quartz finish is a much smarter, more durable local investment. It's just going to hold its value so much better.
Beyond the actual pool finish, there are some other top upgrades that give you a fantastic return on investment. Variable speed pumps, LED lighting, and saltwater conversions. I really want to highlight the variable speed pump for a second. This isn't just a nice little bonus feature. It literally pays for itself in energy savings within 1 to 2 years. Seriously, it has a clear, calculable return, making it an absolute must-have upgrade during any remodel. When you add in LED lights for a low energy draw and saltwater systems for lower ongoing chemical costs, you are building a highly efficient pool. Which brings us to Section 4, resurface or full remodel.
It really all boils down to a single question. So ask yourself, does your pool just have a rough finish, or are multiple systems failing at once? Listen, if only your plaster is stained or pitted, but your tile, your coping, your deck, and your equipment are totally fine, then you just need a cheaper resurface. Do not let anyone talk you into a full remodel budget. But on the flip side, if you have dated tile, cracked coping, and an aging pump all at once, yeah, you are firmly in remodel territory. The financial wisdom behind making that call is actually pretty simple. Bundling these jobs together while the pool is drained saves a ton of money over spacing them out across separate projects, because each of those separate projects requires its own drain and refill. Think about a 20-year-old pool for a second. Paying for one mid-range remodel with one single drain and refill today is significantly cheaper than doing a plaster project this year, a tile project 2 years from now, and a coping project 5 years from now, and paying to drain the pool every single time. It just makes sense.
Finally, let's wrap up with Section 5, Timelines and City Permits.
So here is exactly what you can expect when it comes to construction timelines. A cosmetic refresh? That's pretty fast. Usually just 1 to 2 weeks from the time they drain it to the time they refill it. A mid-range remodel takes a bit longer, about 2 to 4 weeks. But a full ground-up renovation, that typically runs 4 to 8 weeks. And you definitely need to know that larger renovations can take even longer than that if city permits or HOA approvals get delayed before the work even starts.
But there is one number you absolutely must keep in mind. 28 days. This is kind of a sneaky thing. It's the 28-day careful startup chemistry cure period required right after the pool is refilled. Now, the good news here is you can usually swim sooner than that, but the plaster or pebble surface is still chemically settling during that window, so the maintenance is highly, highly specific. Don't overlook that part.
Okay, before you start calling contractors, let's quickly run through an essential San Diego survival guide checklist. First, check your local building department permits. While a simple resurfacing usually doesn't need a permit, replacing equipment, changing gas lines for heaters, or doing electrical work absolutely does. No way around it. Second, confirm your HOA rules, because a lot of them require an architectural review. Third, verify your backyard access width for material delivery. And finally, budget some extra time and money if your pool has heavy calcium scale. That requires extra prep work that a basic quote might not account for initially. So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. Is your pool ready for a simple resurface, or is it time for a total backyard transformation? Take the financial clarity, the tier breakdowns, and the logistical checklists we've covered today, step out into your backyard, and honestly evaluate what your pool really needs. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, happy planning!